Well, hey friends and neighbors, this is Chuck out at Sheraton Park Farms. Welcome back to the farm. So Sandra and I have made one of the toughest decisions that we've had to make about our farm operations, and the future of our farm and what's going on here. And we've decided to get out of the cattle business. And so in order to do that, we made a pretty major step, in the first in a series of steps to get us there. We bought some more cows. Hang around, I'll explain this to you. All right, so first off, what did we buy? Let's start there. So we bought 4 more feeder cattle. There are 2 steers and 1 heifer in this bunch. These cows are about, I think, 18, 20 months old on average, about 835 pounds. So we're about 165 pounds away from being finished. These guys look fantastic. I mean, they are some pretty cows. We bought these off of our friends, Don and Brian Parker. We bought animals off them before. They've got about a 200 head operation here locally. Good friends of ours, fantastic folks, do a really, really nice job with their animals. And so we bought these, and Brian brought them over about 3 days ago, dropped them off, and we put them here in the corner of the field next to what we call the hay barn. I pulled the shade mobile over for them so that they would have some shade, and we've got some water up here next to the barn. We've sequestered them from the rest of the herd. We know they're healthy animals, but that's just good practice anytime you get a new animal on your farm, just to sequester it on your farm. Make sure that everybody's healthy, nobody's sick, and that kind of thing. They've been here for 3 days now. Everybody looks fabulous. I mean, they're doing just great. So we've had them in this paddock here, in this little corner of the field by themselves, away from the bigger herd, which you can see right over there. And what we're getting ready to do today is we're gonna open up the big herd, and we're gonna let them come over here next to the new guys, and they're gonna be just on the other side of this wire. So they'll be able to come over and visit and communicate, say hello, and kind of sniff each other without actually being integrated just yet. Then they'll go together probably tomorrow or the next day. So we've got a single strand of electric. That's a nice thing about the Parkers. Their animals are trained to electric. They came over, interestingly enough, they came over, the first thing happened was one of them jumped the wire. We didn't have it hot, and Ruben was chasing it, and these cattle are not used to the dogs being around. So we got it walked back in, no big deal. If I had a nickel for every time we'd had a cow get out, we'd just get out of the cow business. So that's just the way it goes. All right, let's open up the wire for the big herd. We'll open them up and let them into the paddock here next to where our new guys are at. Let's open them up, and then we'll explain what's going on and why we're getting out of the cattle business. Well, we're awful slow to move today. That's all right. They've actually still got a whole lot of grass in this area. Right back here, I don't know what's going to show up on camera. Back here, thick, green, lush stuff. This is where we ran the chickens back earlier this year. Ran the meat chickens in the tractors all the way down through here. And you can really tell where those chickens came through at. And then we got the bunnies right there. So got another group of meat chickens out here. We have to, when the cows are in the pasture with the meat chickens, we usually put a fence up around the chicken tractors so they don't mess with the water and pull on the tarps and all that kind of stuff. So, but everybody's bunched up back here. Woo, cow! Come on, cows, let's go. Don't y'all rush on my account now. All right, so we still got one stand out here. I don't know what that one's deal is. And then I've got another one down here next to the drinker. That's the one that had the injured right rear leg. Still not sure what's going on. We ended up putting her back out with this crowd just to see if she would ambulate about, get some exercise on. And she has some, but she also tends to lay around quite a bit. So I'm going to pick this fence up so that they've got free range between the two. I also need the fencing materials to go around the rabbits over here to keep them out of them. But yeah, we'll get that picked up, and then I'm going to tell you what we got planned, what's going on. Looks like we're getting our first introduction over here. So interestingly enough, this one here that's from the older group nosing up to the newer group, and the second one there, both of those are from the same farm. They've been here a little longer. A little older cows, a little bigger cows. Right here is this little bull calf. He was born, I don't know, 2 months ago. He's not putting on any weight. So he has a problem called joint ill. And I've talked with the vet about it. Apparently what happens is new calves doesn't get enough colostrum, then gets an infection in its umbilicus and it settles in a joint. And so we've treated it. It's got a swollen right rear knee. We've actually incised and drained that a little bit. It's had some penicillin, but it's still, see, it won't put any weight on it. And that's a little small thing. I've had a calf up there that's a month younger than this. It's more than twice its size, so it's just not going to do good. Keep that in mind when I start talking about how or why we're getting out of the cow business. And then this girl here, I don't know what her problem is. She's just standing over here. I don't know. All right, so what does all this mean whenever I'm talking about we're getting out of the cattle business, but we're also buying cows? So over the past, I guess, month and a half, 2 months, kind of since the markets have started, it's become abundantly clear to us that beef is a huge part of what we sell. And in order to have more beef to sell, we need to be having cows that are closer to being ready to be processed. And so we bought this herd that you kind of see here behind me. We bought them back in January with the thought of, well, maybe we would just continue buying a few stockers or calves that we would finish on grass to process. Maybe we would buy the herd, we'd buy a few stockers along, we would let the herd kind of backfill and supply some of the animals that we needed for processing for retail sale. And in theory, that's probably a pretty good idea. Here's the problem with that. If we have an open cow or a non-pregnant cow today, and she gets bred and she becomes pregnant today, that's 9 months before she has that calf. Once that calf is born, then we've got 18 to 24 months before that animal is ready to be processed. So an open cow today is a 36-month investment for us to be able to have an animal to process. We're currently able to sell without any problem 2 cows a month. So for this herd to be able to supply 2 cows a month, we would have to have, I think I figured it up, it's 24 mama cows and 48 stockers, 48 cows that we're feeding out on the ground all the time. 72 animals. We don't have enough ground for that. There's no way we can do that. Plus we would have to have the bull. And that's with everything working right. That's with all those mamas consistently having a calf every 9 months without fail, without problem, without an issue like what we saw on that little bull calf out there just a few minutes ago. So it's become abundantly clear to us that we are a finishing operation. We're not a cow-calf operation. We have no business in the mama baby business. We don't need the mama-baby drama, basically, is what it boils down to. We've got the one cow that's hurt. I think she got hurt because she was following her calf around, and her calf had gotten out, and she came down the hill behind the camera here, which is pretty steep, on a muddy Sunday morning, and I think she slipped and fell and injured that right rear leg. Basically, what we've decided we need animals that are interested in doing one thing and one thing only, and that's eating. Not interested in procreation and all the things that go along with that. Not interested in nursing calves. Not interested in a bull chasing a cow to do the breeding piece. But we're more of a finishing operation, and we need more animals that are in that 600, 700, 800 pound range that we can finish off, process, and then sell as a retail product. So to accomplish those things, we're going to be dispersing some of this herd. The little red with the white-faced bull calf that y'all have seen in videos before, he is sold. I'm waiting to get him up here where the corral area is so we can get him in the corral, get him on the trailer, and take him to his new owner. We have another bull calf out here that is about probably 12 or 16 months old, 700-ish pounds. He'll be going to the sale probably next Monday. Why am I not going to keep him and steer him and process him? I don't have the setup to get him in. I don't have the time to get him in. I've got a new heifer calf out here, and I don't want her getting bred. And then Mongo. Mongo's going to be up for sale. Mongo's a registered Red Angus bull. I've got papers on him. We're going to be listing him for sale. Nice bull. Mongo's he's a beautiful specimen, easy to manage. He's not high-headed or anything like that. He's a good bull. So we're gonna let him go. The cows that we have, we're going to keep everybody 9 months. We're going to keep them 9 months, and if they're bred, we're going to see what we get. And then once we've gone through a 9-month cycle, that would give everybody time to have carried and give birth. Then we'll decide what we're going to do with the calves and the mamas and what Mongo has produced here on this farm. I do know that we've got the 2 cows that are going to go, but they've got babies on them right now, so we're going to wait and get them weaned off. And we got the 2 that are going to go for hamburger, but we've got to wait and see kind of what kind of buns we have in the oven, if you will, out here. So that's the plan for what we're going to be doing here. We're going to be trying to buy more stockers from the Parkers. We're also probably going to be looking for potentially another supplier, somebody else that could supply us with good quality finishing animals that we can bring on and finish. And then we may be buying some cull stuff. I know there's some guys out there that will go to the sale and will buy some cull animals some cull cows for 60, 70 cents a pound, bring them on their farm, treat them like a finishing animal, put them on grass. Sometimes they get a bonus calf out of them, but finish those animals out and then process them for steaks and ground and some of that kind of thing, whatever's appropriate for the carcass to yield on those animals. So we're buying animals, but we're getting out of the cow business. And that kind of brings me to another, again, I'm not Pete, not dispersing any Pete wisdom on you, but this is something that's been on my mind as I've been thinking about this. This is what fits our operation. This may not fit your operation, and what you're doing may not fit my operation. The thing I would say there is do what works for you. You don't have to farm like somebody else to be a farmer. You don't have to have a certain breed of cows to be a real farmer. You don't have to heck, you don't even have to have cows to be a farmer. But there are lots of different options and lots of different ways to farm out there. Figure out what fits for you, figure out what works for you on your property, in your context, in your lifestyle, in your family, in your budget, and just in what you can tolerate in terms of labor. I know that's been a real thing for us to be thinking about here lately. So, like we always say, please keep us in your prayers. God bless you and your families, and we'll see you on the next video.